They said it couldn't be done. They said it wouldn't last. White man, black man. America F1. America F1 coming to you straight from San Francisco, California. Sherman Tillman, Michael Lawler. America F1.
All right, baby.
Season year-end review.
2022.
Okay. The best race of the year was the Brazilian Grand Prix.
British Grand Prix.
No, it's because Russell won. And the Red Bulls looked like crap that day for some reason. It was the only time this year they didn't look good.
But that crash. And
With Jean
upside down, and he hits the pylons, and he goes upside down over it into the gate, and he crashes in between the gate and the fence, and then he comes out, and Russell's running over there to make sure he's okay, and then Sainz is ahead in the race, and they're wanting to let Leclerc go ahead, and Sainz is like, don't do this to me, I'm not doing it, don't ask me this. That was the best. The best.
No, I thought
Jeremy,
the Brazilian Grand Prix was the most exciting because
I told you it would be good too.
I didn't expect it. I thought I predicted the Red Bull to dominate that race, and they were not good at all that weekend. It was just bizarre.
But I remember we had like 3 boring kind of races in a row, and I said, if you were watching or listening to our show, I said the Brazilian Grand Prix is gonna be a damn good race.
Oh, you got lucky.
Did not get lucky.
I was lucky. How would you know it was going to be a good race? Oh, it's knowledge.
Because they said it might rain, and typically Brazilian Grand Prix is a good race. It's a good track. It has mixed conditions usually. It's like wet, it's dry, it's wet, it's dry. People can't make a decision.
I wish they'd go back to the old 5-mile track that they had.
It was a great race, but I still say British Grand Prix.
Okay, whatever.
All right. Well, let's go. Let's look back at the numbers. Red Bull, Max Verstappen, obviously champion.
We're stupid.
And your buddy, he beat Sergio Perez 18-4 in qualifying, 17-4 race-wise in places who was ahead. 15 wins to 2 for Sergio. 7 poles for Max, 1 for Sergio. 17 podiums for Max, 11 for Sergio, 454 points for Max, 305 for Sergio, and do not finishes, Verstappen had 2, and Sergio had 3. Thorough ass kicking. If I ever heard of one. What would you say about that?
What, 150 point? Yeah, that's well. They only brought Sergio in to come in second. That was the whole point. Mm-hmm. That's why
But he came in third.
Let me see. They had Daniel Kvyat didn't work.
Right.
Gasly didn't work.
Right.
Albon didn't work. No. They bring in this guy, and like they win now they have a lot of 1-2s or 1-3s, and they won the Constructors' Championship by like 1 billion points.
Yeah, finally.
I still don't know why Max didn't pull over and let him go by, so he could come in second. But whatever.
Man, move over, let the guy.
There's still like a conspiracy theory about the Monaco Grand Prix that Sergio.
I really
did it on purpose, but he could have.
But let's say he did. They talked about it after the damn race was over. Come on, that was like 7-8 races ago.
I'm just saying, people don't forget when people get screwed over. You don't forget that ever. So,
hey, without him, he doesn't win the championship.
He would have won the Constructors' Championship, but he doesn't have anybody who can compete with him. Except Ricciardo was the only one who was close to Max.
Now let's talk about the Ferraris. La Ferrari.
They caught on fire too much.
That guy.
And they didn't develop their car like we kept talking about it. The Red Bull, every time they brought something, it worked.
It did.
The Ferrari team, when they brought it was like hit or miss.
I mean, you're completely right. I mean, every time Ferrari did something, maybe it worked, maybe it didn't. Red Bull hitting on all cylinders. Everything they did just worked to perfection.
And their car never porpoised the whole year.
Didn't bounce.
There was something with that floor. Sebastian Vettel said that the floor moves. So, which is not surprising because that's what Adrian Newey is good at, is making the car move. Like his
so
flexing
wings. Let's go head to head. Charles Leclerc, 15 qualifying to 7 to sides. Races 12 to 9. Wins 3 to 1. Poles 9 to 3. I mean, Charles is really good on the pole position, I can tell you. Stop doing that. Podiums 11 to 9. Points 308 to 246. Do not finishes. Wow. Charles had 3, but Carlos Sainz had 6 do not finishes.
But that was all because
man.
That wasn't his fault. It was.
I know, but that's a lot.
It's because the car caught on fire or broke.
But a little bit closer, you know. I mean, I'd say, you know, I think Charles is one of, or will become one of the great all-time qualifiers in our history of Formula One.
Well, if he has the best car, but the Red Bull was the best car this year, so he had more poles than Max did, but he didn't win when he did it. So
that's true, and a lot of that had to do with strategy,
which we all know that Ferrari has a strategy issue,
right? But some of it had to do with, you know, let's be honest, Charles made some mistakes, man. He made some mistakes.
Well, I think he had to push that car a little bit harder than he wanted to.
But let's move on to my favorite team, the Mercedes team, and I'm not, you know, I mean, I like them. Hamilton versus George Russell. Qualifying 13 Hamilton, Russell 9. Races 10 to 12, 12 for George. Podiums 9 to 8. Points 240 to 275. Best race finishes. First for George.
Who had the most points?
George Russell had.
George Russell beat him?
Oh, okay. 240. Highest grid position, first to second. Did not finish. Hamilton 2. Russell only had 1 DNF. And to be honest, to me, people aren't talking about it, but I'm going to talk about it. Russell knocked into a lot of people this year. he ran into a lot of people.
Yeah, he made that mistake at the American Grand Prix in Texas.
Mistake? He ran right into the guy.
Nah, he put too much. It was, you know, it was the start of the race and he slid into him. It wasn't intentional, but he still did it. But he had a couple of those boo-boos where he was like, I think he just made a mistake. I think he's a very good driver, but you know, it's one of those things. The only way to learn how not to do something is to do it wrong, and he did it wrong.
He did it wrong a lot.
But remember, you have to look at him.
He crashed into a lot of people.
It's the first year he's in a real car, so
true. And
he did get the W this year, so
he beat Hamilton only because in the first half of the year, Hamilton was the one doing all the experiments because their car porpoised like no car ever. I mean, when I went to that race in Baku, their car was like literally going down straight. Whoa,
well, yeah, that's where the car bounces is because
it was insane.
Well, remember Lewis got out of the car after that race, and I think he was in traction for a race.
Yes, because I mean, literally when the car was going, it'd go pick up speed and it just started shaking.
Well, yeah, that's because the air when the air and the compression and it just loses all its, and that's what the porpoising causes. That's the whole point.
Do you think it's the floor, or is it the front wing combined with the back wing, or is it a combination of all three?
Lewis says the car was draggy, which means they had a big wing on the back. Because the more wing you put in the rear.
Are you saying that Lewis has a big wing?
Yeah, very big wing. That's the word on the street. I wouldn't care either way. But he said the car is draggy, and that's basically the part of the car that is the biggest air you have. Like when you go to Monza, they have little itty bitty wings. When you go to Monaco, you have the big uns. So
Jesus. Let's talk about Alpine. Alpine was a little bit closer. We have our Fernando Alonso versus Esteban Ocon. It was 9 races to 12 for Ocon. It was qualifying. It was 12 to 10 for Fernando. Points. It was 92 points for Esteban. 81 points. For Fernando. Highest place finish was 4th to 5th for Esteban.
Look at how many DNFs they have.
Highest grid. Now listen to. You want to go right to the DNFs?
Yeah.
6 for Fernando Alonso. Only 2 for Esteban Ocon. I think if he didn't have those 6, and they were all like He'd just be going down the straight and have to pull over.
Kablamo.
Yeah, or he'd be going around a turn and the car would give away. I mean, without those 6, he stomps Esteban.
Oh, it's like he's a much better driver. Esteban is like somebody. I think he is the worst good driver out there because he gets into too many accidents.
The worst good driver.
Like he should be he could be a better driver, but
I don't know what the hell that means.
He's just like
I don't know what the worst good
he's
driver.
quick sometimes, and then sometimes he's not quick. So it's like
there's something. Why does your mic go in and out? Don't you hear it?
It's not going in and out.
You can hear it? You hear perfectly fine on your side? Oh, okay. What I like about Alpine is the shirts. The shirts are great. I love the colors of the shirt.
The next team?
I love the collar. I love how the hat has that like A going, and it looks almost like the Atlanta Braves, but it kind of looks like the Dodgers because it has an L going through it.
They're a hoopty team.
But their merch is cool, dude. I love the merch.
I liked it when the cars were yellow and black. I don't know why.
I don't like the Bumblebee colors. I like the blue. I like the blue.
I don't like the blue.
I mean, look at you. You always wear black. What are you freaking? What's the guy? Johnny Cash. Wear black. You should start wearing cowboy hats for all.
I'm not wearing cowboy hats.
You should.
Okay, let's move on.
Let's move on. All right. So the next team, it's the Mclaren team.
They underperformed this year.
Now, you want to talk about an ass kicking? Listen to these stats. Lando Norris. Little Lando Norris, we love Lando.
I hate the
versus
British.
Danny Ricciardo. 16-5 races, qualifying 20-2. Wait, let me say that again. Qualifying 20-2. Points 122 for Lando, 37 for Daniel. Podiums 1 for Lando, 0 for Daniel. Best race finish 3rd to 5th. The other stuff pretty even, 3rd and 4th, DNFs 2 to 3. But what I look right to is 20-2, 16-5. Pretty much a thorough ass kicking in the intra-team battle by one Lando Norris.
I still don't know what the hell happened to Ricciardo this year. It had to have been the car. There must have been something about that car that he just. It makes no sense.
It's his second year in the car, though.
No, it was his first year in the car. It was a brand new car this year.
No, but it's the second year that he's on the team.
I know. I just don't. It makes no sense. What he forget
I
how to
know
drive?
it makes sense. He got his ass kicked. Lando's way better than him.
No.
Lando's faster, quicker, more hardcore. Lando is better.
Lando still has no race wins, so
he had that one chance and he blew it. That wet race, and he should have came in and changed his tires. He thought he knew better than everybody on the whole team. If he changes his tires, he wins.
Yep, that was a bad decision.
And you got to live with it until you win one. And
but
it's not going to come anytime soon.
This is my guesstimation. At one point this year, I think Perez either might get hurt or might piss off somebody at Red Bull, and they replace him with Ricciardo.
I agree. I think they brought in Daniel Ricciardo. Unfortunately, I think it's a little racist, but whatever. I think throughout the year, Daniel Ricciardo will be racing for Red Bull.
My whole thing is I want to know how much McLaren paid him to go away.
Yes.
Because he was making $25 million a year.
Yeah. So they had to give him some here you go, Daniel. We'll go be on your way.
And to get
Piastri was a reported $16 to $18 million.
Well, why would he take less than the money that it was in the contract?
Because he can take the money and then go race for somebody else.
Yeah, but he didn't get a ride.
But he's getting paid $16 to $18 million not to race for McLaren.
Well, but I mean, it makes no sense why what the hell happened.
So you say don't take that. Wait, tell him, hey, I'm driving.
I'm driving. That's what I would have done.
Give me your money, and that's it.
Well, either you pay me my salary for the year, or I'm driving.
There had to be some type of clause in there.
No. The clause is for the drivers. It's rarely ever for the teams.
So you don't think there was a clause in there saying that we could fire you?
Nope.
And so nope. He did them a favor.
He he was the number one driver. It was in his contract, so
he just didn't live up to it.
There's some. How did
He got
the only thing that makes any sense to me is he couldn't make that car go, or they made the cars work for Lando's driving style. That's the only thing that makes any sense.
I mean,
because I can understand that, because if you set a car up for two different drivers, because some drivers they either drive from the rear wheels or the front wheels.
Yeah.
And I'm just wondering, I'm like, I can't figure this out. There's no way Daniel forgot how to drive. That's just insane.
He didn't forget how to drive. Lando just kicked his butt.
Yeah, that's just doesn't make any sense.
Lando.
Anyways, what's the next team?
The next team is your favorite, Alfa Romeo. Oh man.
They had the prettiest car this year. That was my.
Oh, I love the colors.
No, the design of the car, the curves of the car. That was the prettiest car, but they never developed it.
It looked like a winning car.
They never developed it though, because remember at the beginning of the season,
had a lot of
Bottas was finishing 5th and 6th all the time, and then
that was it.
That was that.
6 DNFs for Zhou, 6 DNFs for Bottas. That's a lot.
That's DNFs.
A lot of pulling over and stop the car.
That was weird though, because they had the Ferrari engine in there, and the Ferrari. Well, that caught on fire a bunch of times this year too.
Yeah, I mean, so qualifying, it's 14-7 for Bottas.
Yeah, well, that's going to happen because Jean was a rookie, so
14-8 in the wins. Pretty much just it's rookie, and
Well, they kept him for next year, so they obviously like him. So
yeah, I mean, well, they got all of China to root for him and sell stuff to.
I guess so.
So
but there's not going to be a race in China again next year. So
yeah, well, there shouldn't be a race in China.
Why? That race always.
That race was boring.
Oh, I like the track though.
Yeah, but it was a boring race. That race was boring. The race in Russia was boring.
Oh, I hate the Russian track.
Yeah, so get rid of both of them. I don't care.
All right.
I don't care. Now, we could talk about Aston Martin. We could talk about Williams, but why?
Why?
We could also talk about Haas. But like I say, why? I mean, why?
Because you realize the Haas team has half the budget of all the other teams.
Is that because they're just trying to make money? Are they like the Oakland A's?
Gene Haas pays for that
Formula
team.
One or what?
Gene Haas pays for the team,
and
he pays. I think he gives the team like $100 million a year.
Okay, well that's more than that. I mean, the cap's 140, so I mean.
Yeah, but that's like still $40 million you're not investing in the car, and they.
Do you think is that team worth more money than when he bought it?
Oh hell yeah! Because when he started that team in 2016, the Drive to Survive thing hadn't happened yet.
Okay, so and they're all getting a piece of that, right?
Oh, that's the thing about Formula One. Everybody, I think for every point you get $1 million or something. That's the word on the street.
So, the other really ass kicking was at Williams, where Albon destroyed.
Yeah, that's because he's
destroyed Latifi.
He's not a Formula One driver. I mean, he shouldn't have been in Formula One.
It was so brutal and ugly.
He cost Hamilton a world championship.
He did. Latifi!
But he's gone, and they replaced him with Sargent, who knows. Albon's eye.
You think Max sent him a bouquet of flowers?
Oh, hell yeah. It's like he sent him a bouquet of flowers, a case of champagne, probably some, a lady of the night or two. Anyways, he's gone. And then Schumacher is the new reserve driver for Mercedes.
I don't know how that worked out.
Well, because
what do you think?
Ferrari dropped him as their driver of tomorrow.
Yeah.
But because he didn't do well at
But is there somebody else out there that we could have had at Mercedes to be the reserve driver?
All the reserve driver does is the stupid simulator work. Now they don't even do anything.
Yeah, but if you get COVID or one of these other things,
why would they might not even put him in the car. Look what happened to DeFries. Williams had a reserve driver. What happened to that dude?
DeFries was like the guy everyone called when something happened. Man, I can't wait to see how he's
AlphaTauri. We got to talk about AlphaTauri.
Why? I mean, I like Yuki.
Oh, wait a minute. Gasly's going to he's going to Alpine next year.
He is.
And him and
French light up.
Him and Ocon don't like each other.
No. That's one of the things people don't really know. That they know each other from karting.
Of course, they're the same age.
They are both French.
And they hate each other.
Like each other. I don't care what you hear out there, ladies and gentlemen. They don't like each other.
Okay.
They don't.
But the AlphaTauri team is going to have Sonoda, who's.
I like Yuki, man. Come on, give him. We're going to see what he can do this year. They have a lot of DNFs. They had a lot of problems over there.
He makes too many mistakes. But I want to see what DeFries is going to do because no one gave.
I think he's going to be good.
He won the Formula 2 championship and no one gave him a ride. Nobody gave him a ride. But no, he did great in the Williams. When he drove the Williams, he got a top 10 in a car that wasn't a top 10 car. In his first ever Formula 1 race, it was like, whoa.
So, wait, now he's teaming up with Lando, right? Who's teaming up with Lando? Next year.
Oh, Piastri.
That guy's quick over one lap.
Whatever.
I'm telling you, watch. Like, you think Lando destroyed Ricciardo.
Well, he's got
It's not going to happen next year.
But he's going to be a rookie next year.
He's going to be a rookie.
This is like Lando's 5th or 6th season. He's going to wax
everybody. Watch.
Yeah.
He's going to surprise you.
Sherman doesn't know what he's talking about.
Over one lap.
Yeah, but you got to race 80 something laps in the race. You could be fast in one that doesn't mean anything.
I'm just saying. Some of these rookies are going to be pretty good.
Nah.
I
think DeFries is the best.
Yeah.
I was very surprised by his race in the Williams because he's
short.
He's short.
He's nice. I met him.
But he won the Formula E championship. I think a couple times already, right?
Formula E.
I don't know why they don't race on tracks though. That makes no sense.
It makes no noise. That's why I can't get into. First of all, the tracks suck. I mean, they suck. And then I'm listening to these little whirls going by. Can't they make a sound?
I think they can make. They make an okay sound, but they don't make
a louder sound.
It's not going to sound like a V8 though,
No, but can't they put some type of muffler in there that makes a sound?
They can do anything they want, right? They put a microphone on the thing and.
First, Formula. I just can't get into Formula E.
No, the tracks suck.
The tracks are horrible.
You can't watch a race because they have too many accidents.
Because the cars can barely fit
I know,
side
they're
by
stupid
side.
road courses.
It's stupid.
And I think they finally this year raced the full Monaco circuit because they were doing the half circuit for some reason.
And that was boring.
And I was watching it. I'm like, why are they? And then when they went to Paul Ricard, they did the half track. When they went to Mexico City, they did the half track.
Why don't they do the full track?
It's like, what the hell?
Because I got to fuel up, or you got to plug them in, or
they
got more than one car.
When they first started, they had 2 cars, and you had to come in and change cars because you couldn't go to the end. I don't know if they still do that because I haven't watched it. Because it's every driver in that series is a failed F1 driver basically.
Get out of here with that.
Anyways, enough Formula E we don't watch.
Yeah, no one watches it. No one cares.
Okay, what's our predictions for 2023?
Oh, let's talk predictions for 20. Well, since Red Bull got fined and they can't do the wind tunnel. 10% cut.
Whatever.
You think that's going to make a big difference?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Okay.
I mean, heck yeah.
That's all right. Fuck yeah, man. So that's going to make a big difference. I think I'm going to see a battle between Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen again, and it's going to be great. So every time Max sees Lewis, he's going to crash into him like he always does.
I can hardly wait to see what the cars are going to look like because I have a feeling every freaking car is going to look like the Red Bull.
You think so?
Yeah, it's
I hope not.
You know how this is a copycat sport.
You know what I didn't like? Well, here's a couple things I don't like. The FIA came out and Mercedes had a wing ready for Brazil, and they said they couldn't use it, and then they banned that wing for next year. So for next year, they can't use this wing that they come up with. That was innovative.
Yeah, which
that's the one thing. And then the FIA again. Now they're saying that you can't wear any T-shirts or you can't say anything that's derogatory or for any cause without their approval. So if you want to wear a Black Matters T-shirt or
that's a good idea.
A color T-shirt, with the rainbow or whatever,
I know.
You have to get their approval. You can't. There's this is not a platform for you. And I think it's 100% against Lewis Hamilton, obviously, because they didn't do it when Vettel was around. Now that Vettel's gone, and it's only Lewis Hamilton that speaks up about causes. So no jewelry for Lewis. Don't speak out about causes for Lewis. Next, it's gonna be what's next? Like, okay, Lewis, you can't wear long shorts. You can't come in those crazy outfits that you do. Okay, Lewis, you can't bring your bulldog to the races. I mean, is this the anti-Lewis Formula One going right now?
I'm not a big fan of people doing their
I'm putting on my glasses. I'm going full
a conspiracy theory
on this, and I'm gonna say to you, FIA, stop it. Stop it. Okay? This is not a communist country. This is not a communism of Formula One.
Well, it's a dictatorship.
You know what
it's
I
not
don't
communism.
like is you have all these drivers, they're all cookie cutter. They don't say anything, they don't stand for anything other than Lewis and Vettel.
But that's what they want, though.
But that's what they want. But that's not the world we live in.
I know, but that's what they don't want to screw up their
Give
business.
me a break. They make so much money, no one cares. They make a lot of money.
Yeah, but they're trying not to. They're trying not to upset people. Period. It's
we can't upset anybody.
No, I know.
You know, it'd be great if F1 was diverse. It would be.
It's not diverse. It's all about making money. What are you talking about?
God,
it's a business.
It's a business, but shouldn't we? Businesses are proven better when everybody has a seat at the table.
Yeah, they don't want to start any shit with any these Black Lives Matters thing.
I don't care about that. You don't have to say anything about that.
The
Black
Rainbow
Lives Matter,
Warriors
Rainbow.
and whatever.
I don't care about that. But what I do care about is that, you know, they have kids making products and they're working 12 hours a day and slave labor, stuff like that. Now,
I support child labor, of course.
We should talk about. But, you know, if they don't want the rainbow flag, I'm fine with that. But we should be able to say something about child labor. We should be able to say something about kids being raped and sodomized and taken and all that type of stuff.
They don't want to
be able to say
They're not going to do any of that stuff. Come on now.
All right.
They just want to sell Formula One and make as much money as they can.
Now, when you talk about that, I also have to say the damn tickets for Las Vegas are damn outrageous. They're too much. It's ridiculous.
I'm just going to go there and just listen. I don't even need to see the race.
A room is $2,300 a night?
Jesus.
I mean, so if you want to sit in the experience is $27,000. I've seen tickets for $51,000. I've seen general admission tickets for $1,400, and that's not including a room. General admission. And I've seen standing room only tickets for $1,300, and that means you stand, you don't have a chair.
Oh my God!
And that's you don't even have a room. That's gouging.
Well, dude, it's like go to a rock concert nowadays. A couple years ago, I went to the Eric Clapton show. We paid $450 to see that.
I'll pay $450 before I pay $4,000.
Dude, it was like, but the ticket. This is how they do this nowadays.
It's not right.
The tickets go on sale. The bots buy all the tickets, and they sell them back to Ticketmaster, and then they double the price.
Ticketmaster needs to go. The government needs to do something about that. It's a
government ain't going to do anything about that.
It's gouging. It's price gouging at its finest, and it's not a business. All you're doing, I gotta pay $100 to buy a ticket from you. You're not doing anything.
Okay. On that note, a conspiracy theory is over. Anyways,
one more thing. That Suleiman guy, he needs to go.
Who?
The guy in charge of F1 now.
He's
FIA.
not going nowhere. They just hired him.
He needs to go. And I'll tell you why. Did you see his drunken thing? You know he used to drive for Red Bull? Did you know that?
What?
He was in some championship like you won that no one's ever heard of. You know, some championship that you got no one's ever heard of. But his sponsor was Red Bull.
But I am a champion.
But that is not cool. How can he be a sponsor of Red Bull and be in charge of the FIA? Tell me that's not
It's just a conflict of interest. That's all.
Huge. It's a huge conflict of interest.
Just a conflict of interest,
right?
That's all.
So they should get some former driver or former constructor to be in charge of FIA.
That dude ain't going nowhere.
He should go. He needs to go. I don't like him.
Anyways,
but if you give us free tickets, then
on that
I'll
note,
change my mind.
we're gonna end this podcast because
you want to end this one.
We're just babbling and just.
I love babbling. You're a babbling idiot.
Well, we're both babbling idiots. And now let's do our babbling idiot bit.
Right now?
Right now. Before we go. That's the last thing we're going to do.
No, we'll babble.
Okay, let's babble about...
something.
Okay. Max Verstappen to Ferrari 2024. You heard it here first.
He's not going anywhere. He's not going. You know what? He'll retire before he...
Oh, and by the way, I really despise the British right now. They're the most annoying race of people on the planet. They ruin the English language.
I'm going to go to the British Grand Prix.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
I thought we're going to the Imola, Monaco, and Spanish Grand Prix.
Well, we have to check that out. I know the Spanish Grand Prix is pretty boring. It's never a good race.
If we do it right, we can see 3 races in 2 weeks.
We could.
Because they're 3 weeks. They're 3 weeks in a row.
Yeah. Well, you better start saving your money, kiddo.
I got money.
You know, where can we get tickets?
People
should send us tickets.
You got to send us tickets or send us money. One of the other.
Send us tickets so we can go.
And we'll be there at the track reporting.
We can do live from the track.
Yeah, live. We'll do qualifying, practice.
We're way better than those English guys that sit around and go,
oh my God. Put a little Willie in the car. It's oversteers and understeers. Dear Lord. I don't even know what that means.
Weather. And then they talk about tires. Let me go talk to a movie star. Oh, I don't even know who they are. You know. Yeah. All right.
Okay, that's it.
that was fun.
Year-end review, over and done. Ciao, ciao, ciao.